Brady.
Oh my God.
So I want to thank everybody for being here today. Lots of things going on and a lot of government is back open. Yeah. That being said, we're gonna get right into it. If there is any, plus if there's any public comments or anything like that, or introduction. That's what we'll lead into. Oh, we want to do introductions? We'll do introductions. And we'll go along the table. Oh, and if you can say your name and your member of council.
Elise Swanson, Coastal San Pedro Neighborhood Council. Again, Healy, Coastal Land Use and Central Land Use and Port.
Board Development, Coastal Land Use. And right there, Northwest. Rural Board Race, Central, and Sustainability Committee.
Linda Alexander, Northwest Land Use.
Brooke Smith, Northwest, and that's it.
Adrian Fernandez Central.
Lamar Lyon Central.
Alan France Coastal.
Brandon Nave, Northwest.
And Nicholas, Northwest.
Even Estes, here to help on the acquisition.
Mona Seven, Coastal. And we have some guests on the wall that's in line to be at the big table.
Indeed. Well, you probably space, say that for
Oh, yeah. Okay.
You want to introduce yourselves? Yeah, that's
I'm Ben Harris. Nick Stoddard.
We'll be there to give it. And you're all from which school? You all San Pedro, the whole same class? Yeah. You know, tonight, we can ask you questions. Feel free to tell us. And we have one more person after us.
Hey, I'm April. I'm part of the Youth Outreach Committee. I'm the Favorite Council, and I wanted to just offer any filmmaking, storytelling elements to help spread the word and get people involved. So I'm here just doing some B-roll. Hey.
Thank you. And then also we can have the people on the internet visiting via Zoom.
I'm Robin Rudisell from Coastal San Pedro Neighborhood Council.
Jason Herring, Northwest.
And this is Stacy here from the PBID.
Hayden, ready yourself? How about Elena?
Can you guys hear me?
Oh, hi, Axel, yes.
Hey, all, sorry. Axel with Councilmember McCosker's office.
Christine?
Hi, Christine Dragalian with Los Angeles City Planning.
Elisa Gordon, also with Los Angeles City Planning.
Daniel?
Hello.
Are you a student
Yes.
at San Pedro High School?
Yes.
At Santiago?
Do I know who he is?
No.
That's a good one.
Santiago there?
Oh, hello. This is John Rita K. Santiago is a student from San Pedro High School.
And John, you are?
Oh, I'm a student from, yeah, I am a student from San Pedro High School too.
Oh,
And Elena? Or Nadia?
Yes, hello.
Hi. Want to introduce yourself?
Oh, my name is Elena Lopez. I'm from San Pedro High School.
Thank you. Nadia? Nadia, do you want to introduce yourself? Oh, and Thomas has joined us. Okay. Thomas, you want to introduce yourself?
Sure. Thomas Norman, Northwest San Pedro. Happy to be here.
Did we get everyone?
All right, thank you so much for that roll call as well as attendance. We're going to get to the next item, which will be an update from Mr. Axel, representing CD 15.
Hey, can everybody hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Awesome. So I know most of us really want to get into the presentation that Department of City Planning has. So I'll give you a brief update on a couple of projects and where we are in the queue. Sorry, my audio cut out a little. Can you hear me?
Yes.
So the first project I'll touch on, which is one of importance to everyone, is the West Harbor project. A minor update, obviously you all see construction moving forward, but we hit a pretty major milestone in the last week and a half. Two of the principal buildings received their temporary certificates of occupancy, which is a really big step forward. And I'm working with a couple of their tenants on some of their clearances. And so we're slowly making our way towards getting the project active. But that was a pretty major milestone that I think would be great to share with everyone here. The next project, which I know you asked about last time, Elise, was the harbor medians and where we had moved with those, the transfer of those over to CNM for the Port of Los Angeles. And so we hit a snag when we were trying to initially figure out which department was in charge of maintenance. It is technically Bureau of Street Services. They don't typically do complete transfers of jurisdictions for a partial, for a portion of the street. It's usually an entire street. So the next step is going to be for us to seek a revocable permit through Harbor Bureau of Engineering. And so I'll be going to be meeting with Elise in the Port of LA in the next couple of weeks. Just to kind of set that path forward and go through an R permit. Those are typically 18-month permits that allow you to build something on the right of way, and they're renewable 8 times, which means we can kind of have access and maintenance access for those for over a decade. So that's going to be the shortest path forward to get them transferred in time for our purposes, which is to beautify before the games. And then 2 more public works infrastructure projects. One is economic development related. So the San Pedro Gateway entry sign, just wanted to give everyone a brief update. This is the sign that's going to go on 6th and Harbor leading into the downtown area. It's been in the works for quite some time. We are currently at about 90% in terms of our R and our B permits. Those are both permits that we need to be able to build the sign in the public right of way. So our permit, we have a couple of more weeks left for DOT to review and approve our traffic management plan. And then for the B permit, we have a couple of extra drawings and some comments to address for civil engineer, for the civil engineering division, and that should put us where we need to be. Bottom line for all of us is we're planning to have both permits in hand by the end of the calendar year and hopefully have the beginnings of construction in the first quarter of next year. And then one that's a lot closer to being wrapped up and you'll be able to access fairly soon is the Piazza. So Piazza Miramare, weather knocked us back a couple of weeks from our schedule, but we are essentially at about 94%. So right now the fountain is going in and the last of the handrails are being added onto the site. We are kind of working with the Little Italy Association a little bit on the grand opening. So we were hoping to do December because we're pretty much, we're about a couple of weeks from wrapping it up. But it looks like in terms of scheduling and wanting to make it a much larger event, we're looking at January of the new year. But that'll be one that you'll be able to enjoy in the new year. So I have a million other projects that I'm working on with folks in town, but let me know if you have any questions on those or something else that I didn't mention.
Are there any questions?
So just a quick question for event planning purposes, if people want to schedule events on the piazza, do they go through the city or do they go through Little Italy?
They will go through the city. So what Little Italy has is called a license agreement. So they have a set 4 to 5 annual events where the piazza's theirs for the programming, basically that are not movable. So that's kind of the exclusivity of that agreement. But the rest of the year, the rest of the calendar year, it's still public property. You go through our office and we work with you to get your events planned and permitted.
Oh, great, thank you.
Any other questions?
Yeah, I wanted to know if you had any update on the fuel depot.
Fuel depot, meaning south of the ball fields?
Meaning what?
South of the ball fields, the property south of the ball fields.
DFSP. DFSP.
Not on my end. That's in Anissa and Pamela's portfolio in the office. I can follow up.
Yeah, you could find out, because it's right across the street from the Phillips 66 property, so kind of knowing what's happening in both is.
Oh, I see. This is the Navy-owned property that we're in the process of transfer of jurisdiction with the city, correct? Because they're part of that. They're part of that as well.
Yeah, the question is what's happening to the rest of that property?
Not much. I mean, we'd been approached maybe 2-3 months ago for a potential project, but all of it was going to be kind of hanging on a thread until that transfer takes place. So there had been talk of an EV charging station, but nothing concrete. It was just kind of a discussion that was brought our way, but nothing. There's no applications for entitlements on the site that are active.
No. So how much of the property is the Navy transferred to the city?
It would be the entirety of it with us taking on whatever existing tenants are on. So that's kind of part of the
entire
process.
EFSP?
The ball fields, the fuel depot, and the gun range.
The entire 400 or whatever it is acres? So, or you're still just talking about a portion of the total?
I'm sorry, I can't hear you too well.
Axel, does that include the native plant nursery?
I'm not 100% sure. I'll get back to you. Those three that I mentioned are definitely part of the discussion, but we're quite a long ways off. Lomita on their side has decided to try to go ahead and purchase at market rate, and so they're going to be going down a different path. We're still kind of trying to figure out the logistics.
Guess I'll give you a call. Or schedule for a future meeting, maybe.
Yeah, feel free to give me a call anytime.
Any other questions, comments?
Axel, I have a question. Anything on Walker's Cafe from the ZA yet?
That one's also within Pamela's portfolio, our planning director, so I can loop you in with her. I'm not in the loop on that one. I haven't been in the loop on that one in like 5 years.
Okay, thank you.
All right. There being any more comments or not, we're gonna move on to the next item.
Oh, no, we did have one other question. Can you give us an update on the Vincent Thomas Bridge?
Yeah, so currently the closure is still set for November of next year. There are intermittent closures that are going to be ongoing from now until then. Essentially, we've got the goods movement section more or less figured out and the TMP more or less figured out. So we're still looking at Harry Bridges and the 47 being the primary routes around the closure. We have a traffic control plan that's going to include quite a few traffic control officers at kind of key nodes, a few in San Pedro, off of Gaffey, and some off of Harbor as we get onto Harry Bridges. I can have the map sent over to you fairly soon so you guys can take a look at where the discussions are. And then on the same vein, we are in the final stretches of permitting some coal plane construction that Caltrans is going to be doing on Alameda Street on that southern section. That's looks and feels like the surface of the moon when you drive on it. So they'll be resurfacing that in the coming months to make it drivable as part of their detour route. And then on a similar track, we're also kind of tooling the idea of a water taxi. This is separate from Supervisor Hahn's project for the Olympics. This is meant to be a pilot that kind of helps identify some of the kinks in that system as we get closer to it. But we're working with Caltrans. I've been meeting with folks in Long Beach, both council offices, to try to see if we can work out a pilot program for a couple of months during the closure, to see if there's a way to get some commuters off the freeway system in the streets and onto the water between Long Beach and Pedro, but that's still very much in the works.
What about this idea of having to raise the bridge in order to accommodate the bigger ships? What happened with that?
So that's more than likely not going to move forward. The Port of Los Angeles had a meeting with Caltrans at the end of last month. It definitely doesn't look like it'll be a feasible project moving forward. I know they haven't released like an official kind of we're not going in that direction, but just engineering wise and timing and funding, it really doesn't coincide. I think, right now our plans are to move forward with the closure as is, and then I think discussions about the future of the bridge are going to be ongoing, and it might lead to eventually getting to hopefully a new bridge at some point. But in terms of raising it, I don't believe that that's going to be moving forward.
Hopefully the boats will get smaller.
They're going the opposite direction.
So I'm asking for a clarification. When you say talking about a new bridge, that would mean that the Vincent Thomas Bridge will be removed, correct?
No, I'm not. No, there's nothing in terms of scale or scope or anything of that sort. I think this project has brought up the need for discussions about the future of the bridge, whether that means removal or what it looks like in the future. That's obviously for future discussions, and we have to take a deeper look at the project or what it would look like or cost. But I do think that this closure is highlighting the need for some kind of upgrade or something that leads to easy.
I'm sorry, you petered out there at the end, but if you do not remove the Vincent Thomas Bridge, how do you get larger ships into the north part of the harbor?
Yeah, no, I'm not saying you wouldn't have to remove it. I'm saying we're not planning any project just yet. I'm saying we have to take a deeper look at what we're going to do with the rest of the harbor on the other side of the bridge, because it's going to require infrastructure that allows larger ships. So I'm not going to sit here and say, yeah, we need to remove it, because we're way too far away from those discussions just now.
But the decision not to raise it has signed the death knell for the Vincent Thomas Bridge, correct?
Raising it, yeah, we don't see that moving forward. We're planning to move with the closure as it is.
And so eventually that will necessitate having the bridge removed.
Not the time or place for me to tell you yes or no on that. I can just tell you what we have in front of us.
All right, Tappy.
The bridge. Yes, what is the current plan for that? I'm sorry to be.
We'll get back to that today.
Oh, okay. But it's gonna be shut down for a year. Yeah, okay, year.
Unlucky.
But it must be real.
Well, thank you, Axel. There's no more comments.
Very welcome. Thank you.
We're gonna move on to actually item number 4, as Brian will be today. Follow up with his report that we would like to send. So up next is Ms. Alyssa Gordon.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, do I have the ability to share my screen? Let's see.
And then we'll also have it up here as well, if you need us to cue it up.
No, she's allowing her to go share.
Okay, I think this is gonna work.
This is
So
what
you can see.
This is your third presentation to us, Alyssa, or fourth?
I'm sorry?
This is your third presentation to us, or your fourth one?
I think we've had a few. Let's see. I think we have some. I think this will be our 6th presentation. I'm not.
Wow.
But yeah, let me
remember.
started here.
We have some new faces in the room as well.
Okay. Here we go. Okay, so if everyone can see my slide here. So good evening, everyone. My name is Elisa Gordon. I'm a city planner with Los Angeles City Planning and joined today by Christine Jagalian. We're here to share updates on the San Pedro ZCU project, and thanks for giving us some time on the agenda to provide this briefing today. So tonight's presentation is focused on showcasing our new interactive story map and walk through some of its features. A story map is a web-based application that takes the user through a narrative, displays graphics, images, and has interactive maps. You may have seen a story map through the release of many of the other city planning programs, like the Harbor LA Community Plan Update or the Housing Element. But we also released a story map a few years ago on this project as well. So we consider that one our introductory story map, and this is kind of our full proposed story map here. So we just released it last week. Shares an update of the project and how the new code is applied in San Pedro. Hopefully you don't hear. There's a large helicopter hovering right next to City Hall, but a little distracting. Sorry about that.
Let's say your notes are covering.
Oh, I'm so sorry. It's not supposed to do that. Okay. Let's see. That's odd. Okay, well, I can do it without my notes here, so we don't need the notes. So we wanted to just also announce that we are holding office hours, and we have blocked off our calendar sometimes that we'll also share out in this presentation. So essentially, our website is updated to have those draft materials available through our fact sheets and our story map launch buttons. And we also have that office hours tab integrated right directly into our website. So I'm going to go ahead and just highlight what is new in this new story map in 2025. So we have more details about our conservation district and character tools. We have an interactive map and fact sheet that we just released. We're sharing out some refined zoning designations for some commercial shops in our residential areas. We have our hillsides map and offering a streams protection tool. And we have our draft landscaping planting area as well as a draft landscaping list. And finally, we have the big reveal, which is our zones and general plan land use, updated general plan land uses for San Pedro. So let's go ahead and I'll do a quick demonstration of what that looks like here. So here's our story map, and scrolling down, you'll see that there's these different tabs. So this is the organization of the story map. We have an introduction, a little bit about the project, tying back into, what is a community plan and what is the San Pedro Community Plan, which was adopted in 2017 as well, with a lot of links embedded into this map with general plan land use map, for example, which reflects today's general plan land uses in San Pedro. Here we have a citywide map of all the different areas and the stages that they are in terms of getting the new zoning code. So in San Pedro, we have the harbor area, we have the Wilmington, Harbor City, and Harbor Gateway area, which recently received the new zoning code, and San Pedro, it's currently in the works through this project. So I'm just going to skip ahead a little and feature the new zoning code section. We have a link if you'd like to browse the new zoning code embedded here, as well as different zoning tutorial videos to get you familiarized with the new zoning code and the different modules. So these are about 1.5 minute videos that are very informational. So this next section kind of highlights 3 major land use designations or areas in San Pedro. So we have our commercial neighborhoods, our residential neighborhoods, and our industrial neighborhoods. So this section explains what the new zoning code offers to realize the vision for these kinds of neighborhoods in San Pedro that was established in the community plan update through our community plan text document. So this is quite similar if you were back in March to our presentation where we talked about how our new tools are implementing our vision for San Pedro. And so, for example, this first example is about single family neighborhoods. We have in our new code options to kind of regulate the massing of single family neighborhoods, kind of require buildings not to be built out as a box and kind of have a pitched roof at a certain height limit, as well as a porch or recess entry required for properties. So these are really new and innovative concepts for our R1 zones in the new code. And then moving on to the next section here, we have our multifamily neighborhoods, and we also have similar kind of design, scale, and massing required for multifamily neighborhoods, as well as requirements for residential architecture, right? So street facing entrances and entry features that, for example, like in this photo, we have porches as a characteristic of multifamily buildings. And, under the commercial category, there's a lot here. So these are just a few highlights. We have ability to kind of require ground story. I'm sorry, the light just turned off. So I'm in the office, not too many people about. But so we have ground story activation through a requirement to provide windows, and as well as we require transitional height for large projects through the new code. We also regulate uses and can require heavier uses to be distanced from sensitive uses and residential zones. So those are just a few of the highlights as well. Through our new code, we also have industrial modern regulations. So distancing requirement from sensitive uses, again, inclusion of enclosure standards, as well as like specified hours of operation, screening, and landscaping, as just a few examples here. And then getting into this next section. So this next section highlights unique features in San Pedro and how the new code is kind of responding to this. So I think we've talked a little bit in the past about the downtown San Pedro area and the historic resources that are there. So we're proposing a conservation district along 6th, 7th, and Pacific to highlight the fact that it is a state registered district and that additional requirements are required to retain character defining features of the buildings in that neighborhood and reinforce that commercial historic district. We also have an additional tool, which is the individual historic resource review. So those are for properties that are not a district, but they might just be a single historic property, but it's not designated as an HCM, but it is eligible for further review as a historic building. So those are kind of called out that they require additional review. So we do have a fact sheet here that has a little bit more detail about, what we're proposing with this project. So I just wanted to make sure that everyone has that. I sent that over to Kane yesterday, but I'm not sure if it got through. So that is located in our story map and on our website as well. And then for our character frontage, we're proposing a set of regulations for the properties that are within the historic downtown commercial district that would create clear standards that help complement the new infill development so that they would be compatible with the existing district. So we have a map here to kind of explain what all these tools are and where they're located. So for reference, you'll see the Vinegar Hill HPOZ in brown hatching. And then you'll see the blue boundary of the conservation district. So this is the existing state historic district in San Pedro. The red is for reference. It's your historic cultural monuments that are designated. You can actually click on them and they have additional pop-ups that will let you know what they are. So this is the Warner Theater, which is maybe originally named Juarez Theater. And the purple icon, the purple callouts are individual historic resource review properties. So that these properties are not historic, they're not currently protected, but they do require further review when a project is proposed here, so that if it is, so we can maintain those historic elements and keep its integrity as a potential historic property. So that is outlined in that fact sheet that I provided. So we also have moving on to our next section. So we have in San Pedro a lot of interesting commercial development within our residential neighborhood. So this is kind of a photo from Alma Street, and we have about one block that has a market and other restaurants, cafes, and other neighborhood serving uses. So, they've created a wonderful pedestrian environment and provide amenities for these neighborhoods that they're located in. And so what we're proposing to do here is we notice that they're located primarily in these residential areas, right? So the yellow kind of, I don't know if you can see here, indicates that it's in a single family neighborhood, and the orange indicates that it's in a multifamily neighborhood. So what we have here identified by the peach callouts are where we're proposing a new zoning designation to reinforce that commercial nature of small tenant sizes and continue that kind of smaller scale commercial build out within a residential neighborhood. So I just wanted to kind of highlight that as a new feature that is offered by the new zoning code.
Scroll down a little bit to the coastal area.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just want to see the small scale shops.
Sure.
Okay. Well, interesting.
Yeah, so I think we have the corner store here on 37th
Yeah.
Street.
Yeah, that's what I was looking for. Yeah.
And then on Pacific Avenue here, we have
the Lighthouse Deli and the grocery store there.
Exactly.
And would walkers, it would approve be? Well, I guess it's adjacent to a park. I don't know.
So we didn't apply it to Walkers because Walkers is currently it's actually zoned single family. So we only applied it to where we are currently have these properties zoned as commercial.
Oh, okay. Thank you. What about the bakery?
I appreciate the question. So moving into our next section, we also have our hillside neighborhoods in San Pedro. So this is a map of our existing hillside area map. So it is basically a replica of today's hillside area. So there were no changes proposed. And you can see where they are in San Pedro. A lot of them are connected to our open space areas, our parks, and, a big bulk of it is, abutting that Rancho Palos Verdes area. You can actually zoom in here and you can see that there are streams that cross from Rancho Palos Verdes into San Pedro. So through the new code, we are carrying forward these hillside area requirements. So these areas all are required to provide fire sprinklers, and they have requirements for retaining walls. Additionally, in single family neighborhoods, in low residential neighborhoods, we have further hillside regulations today through the baseline hillside ordinance. So we are proposing to carry forward those regulations, and you will see that in hillside areas, you're going to have specialized zoning for hillside homes. So this is all part of the new code. And so there'll be a little bit of a difference in zoning between like an R1 flat home versus a home in a hillside area. So you'll be able to see that in our zoning map. And we are also offering a streams protection tool to protect our natural streams in San Pedro so that they wouldn't be built over, that there would be safeguards in place. And then finally, I did want to share that we have a landscaping requirement currently in the CPIO. And so through the new code, the mechanism would be to apply that to a targeted planting map, which I have here hyperlinked here, as well as the draft planting list. And this planting list was created with CalScape. So please take a look at these documents and let us know what you think. Okay, so finally, we are towards the end here. We have a slider map. So this is a really great map. You can actually expand it, and you can slide from left to right and see what we have today. So today we have the general plan land uses that you can see by opening up this pop-up legend. And on the right-hand side, you'll see what we're proposing with this project. So there are a lot of things that are going to be pretty much the same because this project is not really intended to make any changes here. So we're trying to implement the new code to the best of our ability, but you'll see some changes because, for example, the One San Pedro project is reflected here since it has been approved, right? So we also have expansion of park space or public facilities. So those are reflected here as well. We do have a change in terms of the industrial area as well, so you'll be able to see that. And so this map, you can actually click on it and you'll get a drop-down box and you'll see all our proposed zoning modules here. So you'll see what it is today and what we're proposing with this project, and you can open up these documents to kind of look at exactly what is being proposed. And you'll also see that, we're not changing the San Pedro specific plan, so it's still going to be the same. It's listed here as San Pedro specific plan. So if it says yes, it's going to pop up to our existing San Pedro specific plan. For example, we also have, indication of whether it's in a hillside area. So I think there's a lot of great information here. I hope that everyone takes a look at it and lets us know if you have any questions. We also have these available as static maps if you'd like to just look at a static general plan land use map. So I'm going to move back into the presentation and announce our office hours. So we put some time on our calendar starting tomorrow for anyone who wants to reach out and discuss our project or share comments or thoughts or ask questions. We have spots on our calendar through December 5th, but happy to continue to speak with people that want to share any additional feedback past that date. And I just wanted to also share the updated timeline for this project. So we are in 2025, we are in the refine period. So we did share the draft zoning map through the story map release, and we will be planning for a public hearing in the first quarter of next year. And so please stay up to date if you haven't already signed up to get the latest information on the project. Again, you can contact myself or Christine at any time. We also have a project email. And, thank you so much for your time. Happy to answer any questions that you might have. And happy also to come back and give another presentation if there's anything that you'd like to get further information on.
Robin, you're recognized.
Thank you. That was an excellent presentation. You're very easy to listen to. I like your speaking voice. Makes a difference. Could you put a link in the chat to the Q&A document? I wanted to make sure I got to that easily without searching all around. And then a more specific question on the land uses. You mentioned the industrial zones we're going through some changes. Is it easy to just generally say,
Sure.
Yeah.
So for the Q&A, do you mean the office hours? Sure,
okay.
We can.
There's a Q&A document.
I'm not sure which Q&A document. We have a fact sheet on character tools.
Maybe the fact sheet.
Yeah.
Fact sheet.
Okay. Yeah, Christine, if you can drop that in the chat, and then I'll go over the industrial area a little bit. So everyone can see my screen.
Function on this. But Kay, you got the Q&A sheet, right?
Yes, yes, we have.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
Because I can print it out. It's not.
We'll share with the community, make sure it's on the website.
Okay.
So for the industrial area, so today there is 3 different land uses, right? So we have our unlimited industrial, we have light industrial, we have heavy industrial. So in the new code, there are these different general plan land use designations for industrial, and we felt that the best fit for San Pedro, considering the existing zoning that's on the ground, as well as the actual uses that are happening there, that light industrial would be the most appropriate throughout this industrial area. If you if you're familiar with these sites, you know that they have queue conditions and they have regulations through the San Pedro CPIO. So heavy industrial maybe might not be the best match, considering that they're not allowed heavy industrial uses through the queue condition in the CPIO. So we are proposing to just make it light industrial as maybe the best fit. So that was.
Does that allow mixed use or residential?
No, so it doesn't allow residential. So in the CPIO, there's no residential allowed in industrial neighborhoods. So we're carrying forward that. And I think you'll be able to see that if you click on this and if you see density says N, so that's not permitted. So you'll see that across the industrial.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Yes, sir. This is a topic that we're going to talk to a lot more about, but it applies to a specific question at the Phillips 66 site here. Their requested permits and approval list right now. The top 4 items on that include vesting from both of the community plans as they are now and establishing their own plan.
Specific plan.
So I wonder if there's any comments that can be shared about that, and if the footnotes that the plan that the Phillips 66 plans to add to our industrial plan or the plan that you have there, if you're aware of those yet.
So I don't think I can speak well on this current active project that's going through entitlements. You may know more about it than I do at this point. So I'm not really sure at what stage they are currently at, and currently not aware of any footnotes that are being pursued.
Yeah, they're just quick minute or second on that. Yeah, they're right now requesting permits and approvals to move away from this plan and create their own.
Yeah.
Right now, they're asking for our approval for that, or the city's approval for that.
Way down the road.
Right. Yep.
Right. So I understand that they were probably pursuing a specific plan for their project. So I think One San Pedro also has a specific plan. I think it would really depend on maybe the timing with their project and our project as well. You know, we are moving forward with this project. So yeah, I think we would have to look into it a little bit further to better understand.
Correct me if I'm wrong, Alyssa, but once that specific plan got approved, then that would come into this map as a specific plan. It would change this map once the specific plan got approved, right?
I don't know that it would change the general plan land use. I mean, perhaps the zoning may be superseded by the specific plan.
Well, part of it's a change from industrial to commercial.
Oh, okay. Well, today commercial is not allowed, and residential is not allowed. Excuse me. Commercial uses could be allowed within industrial zone, so that's still something that would be allowed today and in the future as well.
Include some park space and some. Anyway, they said a specific plan is what they're going to do.
Any other?
I have a question.
Yes.
We have a little short 1 block long street called Nelson that when we redid the community plan, we didn't realize that the height limit on that was much higher than the height limit in the surrounding area on 6th Street. And if there's any way to change that just one little short block. It's between 5th and 6th.
Between 5th and 6th Street?
Yeah.
Is it Nelson Way? Is it called
Nelson Street?
It is Nelson Street.
But it's just this little tiny piece, and somehow we just missed that, or we would have asked at the time that it not be. I think it's unlimited height. but whatever it is, it needs to come down.
You know, unfortunately, we are limited in terms of our ability to change the zones for their height or FAR, and you know, we're trying to maintain as existing. Also, I'm not really sure what stage that project is at, so it may be that the project may be farther along. So I'm not sure that this project could address that specific case.
What would be the way to address that issue? Because it's a community plan issue.
You know, I think I need to learn a little bit more about that project to be able to respond to it. So maybe if you could give us that information and we can look into it, maybe get back to you.
Okay, thanks.
Any other questions, comments?
Can somebody enable the chat option? Because I wasn't able to send the link for the fact sheet.
Yeah. Since this is a public governmental account.
Okay.
There's the chat function is not.
Okay.
The city
Well,
won't let us.
oh, okay. So then and we can share the link to the fact sheet guess through the email. Is that good, Elisa?
Yeah, and we also
Okay.
have the fact sheet up on our website
Yeah.
currently. So if you go to draft materials, you'll find our conservation and character. Is this the document that you were talking about, Robin, or is there something else that you were asking about?
Yeah, it's the fact sheet. Perfect.
Okay, great. So that'll open up, and I can also email it out to you. Okay, is there any other comments or questions? And you know, is there an interest in us coming back and giving a presentation on any of the topics that we presented today? Feel free to reach out and let us know.
All right, thank you so much, Phyllis.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thanks. Bye.
Thank you. Have a good night. Take care.
Bye.
Oh, wait, we have. Oh, to us. Okay, thank you so much.
Okay.
I'd like to suggest that we try to get different people to look at different parts of this and just see if they have any thoughts, questions. Maybe break it down. And I looked at it, and we wanted to do this. We have the residential districts, the single family, multifamily, the commercial, the industrial, the historic, the hillsides and streams, the landscaping, and finally the zoning map. Now, I don't know if anyone has an interest in looking more specifically at any of those, but to me, it would behoove us to have somebody look at each one. If that makes sense.
What were you thinking specifically needed to be called out?
Well, I don't know.
Oh, okay.
That's what you go look. Go look and see it. You may come back and say, oh, this all looks great. Or you may come back and say, you know, I'm not sure why they did this. Should we consider adding this? Should we consider commenting on this? And it may all be great. I'm not saying it isn't. But we're either stuck with what they do or we look at it just to see if there's anything we want to change. So that was my suggestion.
And Diana, how long did they say that the comment period would be open?
Well, they said they were expecting to have a public hearing in January. So,
Of course, like the holidays.
it would be
We've been going through this for forever, for years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they now have some.
They have more detail now, absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, just for my own, I'm gonna take a look at that small scale, shop designation, because I think that sounds really interesting, Diana, so I'll take that.
Yeah.
I'm gonna look at that.
I'm interested in the hillside part of it, because I live on that. So I can go serve my own interest.
Hillside and streams. Look at both.
Sure. Diana, the historic,
Yeah, I think you should look at this story.
Excellent.
And I think Alan will work at landscaping. I don't even have to ask him. But I was.
have Alan assigned already.
But. And more than one person can take something.
Absolutely.
Anybody want to look at the residential, single family, multifamily, it's interesting. And they call that. Nobody wants to say that. What about the commercial? Anyone want the commercial? Industrial?
I'll look at commercial.
You got a commercial?
I'll look at industrial. Okay.
Sure.
Yeah. Or light industrial, I should say.
Yeah, well, that was kind of.
Either one of those.
That was a kind of nice change, because a lot of it was heavy industrial. Light industrial, I thought. What about the zoning and land use map? Anyone want to look at that, any part of it? Anybody else want to look at anything in here?
I think we all should use that map, and this should be easy and fun considering this tool they put together, actually.
Yeah, we all should look at it.
Yeah.
But it's nice to have kind of dig into. Adele, is anything you? Yeah, not really. I read it and it's like, oh my goodness. So what I got was, it came to look at commercial, look at industrial.
Let you know for the record, that's come from sustainability, not land planning.
What?
It's come from sustainability committee, not land planning. He's coming from sustainability.
Yeah, but you can still look at it. Linda's gonna look at historic. Lori's gonna look at the hillside and streams, and Alan's gonna look at the landscaping. And Elisa's gonna look at the thing on the small shops.
Just a quick point of clarification, we're talking about there, because it looks like they're changing the legend of zoning as well. So are we talking about the old list?
No, the new.
The new list?
But what you're really looking at is the
the
design element, the section on industrial, the kinds of things.
Yeah.
That just the.
Yeah, okay, I just don't see anything called commercial, that's what was a red flag to me, I don't.
She walked.
On the legend, but I'm sure it's cool.
There's a lot on, there's a lot of legend called commercial.
Okay. Another terms for it.
Yeah. Good, because then we'll have a little more.
Yeah, and we are constantly looking to gather more faces and names and voices on these topics that are impacting everybody, so.
I would think Luna would want to look at commercial.
Sounds like overbooked. There's a lot going on in this community, so.
Yes, you would indeed.
Small shop there.
Commercial is so big, multiple people should be on that.
We need Mona to keep wiping out the graffiti in town.
Yeah. Yeah, but that's fine. I just think she might give it a chance.
I'd like to see a bunch of the empty lots, have some developers come in and,
get rid of some of them.
absolutely. I think that should be a really big goal for the joint planning and land use and how we can actually attract some appropriate and some appropriate investment moving forward into the next decade in regard to Pacific Avenue as well. Yeah.
Hopefully this new zoning code's gonna.
And
Things
greater
easier.
recipients. Yeah. Speaking of the blight and the degradation of these empty lots. So. Speaking of commercial, yeah.
And I didn't see anyone else. Bill Gannon wanted to look at any of these.
Well, speaking of Zoom in, is there anybody that did not announce themselves in the meeting earlier and they've joined later?
Hi, my name is Catherine. I wasn't able to announce myself earlier, but I'm a environmental consultant and I represent Feed and Be Fed, and I work for a lot of different RPs. So I will have some comments later on.
So Jason Herring, well, from Northwest. All right, we are going to move on to Phillips 56.
Is that gonna be a long discussion? Because I would, okay, we have Stacy on from PBID on the trolley letters.
The trial
Yeah, because like just last month, the Phillips 66 discussion was very robust.
Okay.
So I just wanted to. I just wanted to. Away. We don't even, I don't, there's shit.
She has a word with
Okay,
yeah,
so-
words.
Pardon?
Do we have to hear them again?
So, thank you for letting me.
They gave an update, but this time it was a letter. I put it in.
I don't.
Fourth time I've heard them?
Maybe you can be a
So
driver.
we'll.
You mean a driver, that's
I don't. See.
That's around the draft letter that is up for discussion on the fall item. Okay.
We had a pretty good presentation on this at the last meeting.
Yeah.
Request for letter came out in the meeting.
So I know that, Stacy, correct me if I'm wrong, but the deacon is collecting letters of support for this new trolley project initiative that you are undertaking. That's right.
Yes.
So that's what we got from everybody today.
Thank you for release and tracking.
And I have no pride of ownership, so if anybody wants to make corrections, et cetera.
Well, I was basically.
Adrian, why don't you pass this to one of the students behind you?
I know we're doing this, we're in discussion, yes?
We are in discussion for it.
Yes, we are.
Okay. Things are making their way around the table. I know it's a back row button if I need to copy print more.
I think you're good at it.
Okay,
So is it on the website so that people can see it?
yes, Caitlin's got it up on the screen. Okay.
So that being said, I'll just allow people to read it and if there's a feeling of emotion.
Then you are speaking the. Yes, Northwest Central, but they're gonna do each one.
Then we have to vote for influence.
So Robin, I know for coastal, you want to take this up and we can approve it and then move it to coastal?
I haven't read it yet.
It's up on the screen, it's very brief.
Yeah, I think.
Working.
Sure.
It's not working.
So did she say?
The coffee.
What did you say, Robin?
Robin, I'm sorry, did you say yes, want to take it up or can we take it up? That's a thumbs up. Okay, so if I may, Robin, I would like to move that Coastal San Pedro Neighborhood Council approves the letter and moves it forward to.
Okay.
And for a second, like to make a second.
Okay, so it's been moved and seconded. Robin, did you want to take it for the vote or do you want us to handle it here?
No, I got it. Lori,
Yes.
Adele,
Yes.
Elise,
Yes.
Mona,
Yes.
Alan,
Yes.
and I will say yes. Is there anyone else there? Those are the ones I had noted.
Should you vote? Yes, okay.
Okay, very good. We'll move it forward.
Passes. Thank you, Robin.
Great, thank you all, and we're excited to give you guys updates as we receive them.
So you have two more. Neighborhood Council, Stacy, it'll just take another minute.
On behalf of Northwest, I'd like to move that the Northwest Planning Land Use Committee approve this motion, this letter.
Second.
Discussion.
We moved and properly second, first, motion by Diana Nave and second by Olivia Alexander. From the Northwest.
Yes, for discussion.
Thank you. Is there any discussion? That being said, we'll do the roll call from Northwest.
Wait, do we have discussion on this?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Stacy?
So I'd like to make a comment. So the one issue I have with it is where it says these operate with greater efficiency than traditional fixed route systems. So that's a nebulous term, and I'll say why, because fixed route systems are in place because they have a certainty of places for people to picked up and dropped off. This generally stimulates certain patterns of business and has been shown to have greater economic growth potential when there's a fixed route, as opposed to what we've seen. Think of the bus systems where they change routes or frequencies and things, where suddenly we have transit oriented development and then, oh, they changed the bus routes, so now it's not any longer transit oriented development. So the only issue I have with it is that sentence. Otherwise, I think it's a great improvement over the current trolley system, but I would not support that particular sentence.
So Stacy, do you want to address that, why we spoke about flexibility for major events and different things going on in the community? Why we felt flexibility was important. And Jason, I hear exactly what you're saying, but the bid does have a fixed route, but I'm going to let Stacy address it.
Yeah, so just to give you a little background, I've only been at the bid for about a year, but the trolley program has been running for more than a decade with fixed routes, but it's something that we're trying to improve on is our consistency. So we have fixed routes that are pretty much created and managed by us at the P-bid. And we do that by working with our stakeholders and members of the district. So we do have fixed routes, but what we do want to make sure we keep flexible is the frequency that we change them, because San Pedro's changing so quick. We have West Harbor opening up. We have new developments in downtown. So as those changes happen, we do change the fixed route. And with the new software that we'll be launching called TripShot, it will need to stay a fixed route because we want to have that live tracking and have people be able to set timers to come out so they don't have to be waiting at stops. So the good thing is this is a little different from your regular bus stops because it's managed by the P-bid. And the area where it's flexible is really if we get feedback from the stakeholders in the community. One example is for the Arts District, our first Thursday route. They felt like it wasn't serving the galleries that it should. So we just changed that route, and now it has its own dedicated route that stops in front of Laha and a few other galleries that the Arts District recommended. So those are the types of flexibilities that we hope for, but we always want to stay on a fixed route because I feel like that's very important for consistency. And as people come in from cruise ships or from out of town, we want to make sure they can count on a route that doesn't
Order
change.
some stuff for Thanksgiving from Rooted?
No.
You know?
Thank you, Thomas.
Thomas, can you mute? You go. Okay.
And I understand the ability to want to serve these diverse needs as certain special events come up, but I don't really understand why a zero emission vehicle has to call out the operate with greater efficiency. I mean, there's no differentiation there between a diesel or gas powered and electric versus flexibility. But this sentence kind of has potentially an underlying theme in there of against a fixed route system. I just don't like the way that it's unnecessary in this discussion. All the reasons to get a zero emission vehicle are valid, but that's just not one of them.
So, and I apologize, Jason, I think that was based on the actual design of these new smaller trolleys where you can send one trolley out or you can link them for big crowds. So, and link multiple trolleys like a train. So I feel free to tweak that sentence.
Yeah,
I think
I would just make a friendly amendment that we just remove the greater efficiency statement. Maybe you have flexibility over the existing buses because you can't link them like that. But
Just an amendment. Okay, so yeah, for Northwest, it's got an amendment.
You have given a proposed amendment to the order?
Yes, he does.
What's your proposed amendment, Jason?
that sentence where it says they operate with greater efficiency than traditional fixed route systems, I would remove that and say they operate with greater flexibility than previous non-zero emission systems.
But the current system, they are not zero emission.
Right, but you're trying to integrate. I said then previous non-zero.
Oh, God, oh, okay, thank
The
you.
existing non-zero emission.
Got it. Yes, you're correct.
Okay, so we have a recorder and transcript. So do you accept that amendment?
I'll accept the amendment.
All right.
It's seconded.
And I will as well.
I
Second.
should look what we take. I'm gonna need you to send that to us so that we can correct.
Yeah. All right, is there any other discussion from Northwest? All right, I'll call for the vote. I for Kane. Sorry, Kane Nicholas.
You want to call the roll? You just want us to do it, okay.
I will.
Diana Neighbor, yes.
That's on the amendment.
Linda Alexander, yes.
Brooke Smith, yes.
Yes.
Jason?
Yes.
Thomas?
Yes.
Anybody else in Northwest? A unanimous for Northwest.
Now, unanimous, thank you.
Yes.
The central one, do anything with it?
Yes, on behalf of Central, I'd like to move for the support of the zero emission trolleys to be integrated into the PJ transportation fleet.
Second.
Discussion. Adele,
Yes.
Amar,
Yes,
Adrian, yes.
so move.
Okay, Stacy.
You're not part of the committee.
Yeah. You're not
You're not part of the committee.
You're not a member of this committee, are you?
No, it's not.
No. No, you're not. Sorry.
Just for the room, no, I'm supporting of these things. They were awesome.
Appreciate that.
Thank you so much.
As Charlie's will interrupt us on this.
So we're getting to our good old friend here, Philip 56. So thank you, everybody. Thank you for mentioning the item 5 of this. That being said, we want to keep as it's such a large project affecting our community, we want to keep it on the conversation and updated so that we're informed and if there's some type of as a stakeholder or just a regular committee member, I take it upon myself to collect as many official letters and comments as possible, as I'm using it to grow my policy tracking. But I have a document that I could submit for anybody that wants it electronically. But of course, there is other comments and people that have updated information. And so open to it because there's so many different angles, there's newspaper articles, websites and things of that nature. And so this is the little space that we can kind of huddle around this topic.
Miss, everybody submitted their comments. I think Robin Coastal submitted their comments on Philip 66, correct? Yes. Yes, we did. Okay.
Yep.
This was the process of that's a slight glitch that we have to address, but it was passed through council last night with a glitch.
Okay.
All three.
Okay.
I am gonna try to. Wilmington is actually having an interesting event regarding the port. That's the reason why Brian Martinez is not here today. But ultimately, I will try to keep up with the Wilmington. They have their monthly meeting on the tail end of the month. And if there's anybody that knows about what Harbor City has done,
Harbor City has submitted their plan to planning.
So I will check the website and see.
Well, at least you were gonna talk to the Harbor City president, weren't you? So maybe you could find out what they.
I'll find out. See what Chris Wilson, I
didn't get a copy of what they submitted.
Okay, I'll ask him. Because I know their main interest was adding a grocery store, but I'll see what, if they actually submitted a letter.
And so, no, I do have a comment when the floor is open.
Yeah, no, this is actually, let's open it up.
Please. Okay.
Let's be clear, this is sustainability and not land planning. So I just want to make sure that everyone understands that it's come from a different committee.
Community stakeholder.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah. Public comment on that.
So there's one glaring item that I wanted to bring attention to that I think I'm not seeing enough opposition to. And that is the plan and the request. You know, this NOP that we have is actually a 38 to 40 page document. And on the very last page, you know, most of it is, you know, a lot of renderings, a lot of explanation of what it's going to be. But I question if that really is the subject matter at hand right now, because the requested permits and approval all have to do about, which I've already stated, removing this site from the current community plans, which have specific requests that have been in place, but also then immediately beginning or asking for the very first phase of this project to be a massive haul job of contaminated material through the neighborhood. And this is not only is the a more appropriate remediation already specifically mentioned in the Wilmington Harbor Plan, that is to handle it in situ, but you know, this poses great risk, and there's other alternatives that are in situ, that are natural, very effective, 99% high or higher effective, and do not require removing this from site. And I think there's a lot of risks, not only for the immediate concerns of the community's health, well-being, and let's kind of be honest, like the whole reason for doing this is that's the cheapest way to do it. Get it offsite and get it out. But if you cover it with a site and develop that site and then begin operating that site and occupying that site, and then try and remediate after these plumes start to show themselves, I think there may be even more costs involved down the road. So I think it's worthwhile for everyone, including Phillips 66, to stop and look at other alternatives to hauling and to an offsite location where remediation processes may go. I'm not an expert, but I do know that we have a member on the remote in with us that is an expert on remediation. She introduced herself, Catherine.
And this isn't the time for a full discussion of it, just to raise the issue.
Yeah.
Not to have.
Yeah, hi, everybody. I'm Catherine. I'll be very brief, but this is what I deal with. I have 20 years experience. I'm a professional California geologist, and many of my clients are other oil and gas refineries and fuel terminals in our community. And I've gone through several times within Southern California where we've redeveloped major sites like this. And one thing to consider is, you know, the Montrose Superfund site in Torrance/Harbor Gateway has been in the news a bit, and I worked on that project for 12 years. And their original plan was something very similar to this, where they wanted to excavate all the contaminated soil, take it off site where it would have been incinerated and then put in a landfill. And the community said, we do not want the pollution that's in our community to be passed on to somebody else. Find a better option. And it, you know, that was an extreme case, but it, you know, it took us about 25 years, but we came up with an in situ, much more environmentally friendly way, and actually probably a better way for everybody to fix that site. I have another site in San Diego where we had to rapidly redevelop the site into like within a 5-year period, and it was ended up being $30 billion in redevelopment, not us, but you know, building what was there. And we did almost all of the cleanup with in situ remediation with targeted dig and hauls where you're doing excavation. And just from my experience, I'm working on other oil and gas client refineries where they're still active refineries. We have some inactive sites in the harbor area. And I do not think that dig and haul is the right way to do it unless the developer or Phillips 66 can provide a technical justification for doing it. There are some cases for it, but other times you can use bacteria and it cleans it up very quickly, and it ends up being a much better option for the community, for the new property owners, and ultimately for the responsible party. So that's all I wanted to say is so that.
I appreciate your input. Could you write something up for us that it talks about that process that we could have in writing?
Yes, I can do that. And the other thing,
you just send it to me. This is Diana, name, in case you never figured that out. And you can just send it to me, Catherine, and I'll.
And Catherine, what company are you with?
I'm not representing my employer. I'm representing Feed and Be Fed, and I'm a private citizen, but I'm currently employed with AECOM, but I'm switching company.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, I'm not representing my employer at all at this point. But I've been in this industry, and I could write something up. And also, there's a lot of publicly available information that I can leverage. And there's a lot of stuff that we can do. And as an expert in this, I really do want to educate the general public on what kind of power we have, and also the water board, who is the regulatory agency in charge of this project. They have a mandate to respond to community concerns as soon as possible. So I just want everybody on this committee or these committees and in the community to know what kind of information is at their fingertips. And as an environmental consultant, our mandate is also to communicate risk and solutions to the lay people. So, but yeah, I'm not here representing my employer at all. I'm here representing Feed and Be Fed and as a private citizen.
Understood. Thank you. Yeah, we are still, because we had as we heard, we had a robust conversation last month or 2.5 weeks ago. And so we're looking to form a crew of not only specialists, but people who want to learn more about what's going on in the community.
Look at this, so that's like a small subdivision, no, it's got a thing to do.
Okay, from
Tactical.
yes, so specialists that can speak to this intelligently and be able to communicate.
And bring in other people as situation more.
Absolutely. All right, so.
Was this something Pat was going to look into?
Yeah, yes. Pat has been in extreme pain.
Oh.
I don't know if that's why he doesn't, that's why he's not here. He gets a shot Friday and hopefully. That'll help. He's been unable, hasn't been out of bed most days. It's so painful.
Sorry to hear that.
So he gets a treatment on Friday, let's hope that. So I don't know if that's why he hasn't made the calls. I may have to.
Yeah.
So, Kane, is this a working group or a committee?
It's an ad hoc.
It is an ad hoc.
So we'll meet publicly and everything, so you have members of the public attending, it's a committee?
Absolutely. I mean, again, it's a working group, it's not, again, the goal is to work together, and that's why we're creating space here, the joint meeting, and so, but we are also having challenges, if I could just speak frank, that people being engaged and, it's real great, work, so. We had an amazing presentation a few minutes ago, more to a 20-person, committee and crew as well, so, this is a public position, so in another capacity, you just task other people and, volunteer people, but in this particular case, we, we have to kind of dig in, because this is the largest project, in our area, 444 football fields and.
Feet. Acres.
I'm sorry?
Acres, you said football field.
Yes, I did. That's 444 football field, nearly, or, just in terms of this layman terms. It's a big project. So, that's why we're trying our best to, and also to the new people. There's all kinds of fun to have, and so. It's true. No, I'm serious. We're really trying to, again, want to talk about hillsides and corner stores, but this is the fabric of our community, and these little details are opportunities, and they might lead to a career interest as well. So,
Look at the young people sitting back here.
yeah, no, I mean, real estate agent, an engineer, just for kids, since it provides some levity. If everybody in the room or at the table, just say what your job title or your major in college or something like that, just to kind of, or with your interest. What's up?
Well, I have been a co-owner of the Omelet and Waffle Shop for 30 years as a first. Yes, thank you very much. So my interest has been in not just building our business from the original happening in the rest of we have now, but along the way, you're interested in community work, public safety, collaborating with the San Pedro Chamber of Commerce over the last 10 years in the building of the chamber as it is now. The chamber to the development, as well as advocating for really smart forward movement in our movement. So lots going on with me, but with this great group here, we have a lot of time.
And again, just if we can quickly just run through a title or the engineer, architect, just for the sake of time, as we are gotten close. So thank you. We got. Come on over. But I think that's rich for everyone because again, if we're not engaging outside in the committee talk, we're still our neighbors as well. So,
hello, I'm just here to facilitate, but I am operations coordinator for the San Chamber.
Kenny, financial consultant.
Community development, I guess, social welfare, community development.
I've retired, so I'm good for that.
Being an expert in native plants.
Local.
Among other things. Educator.
Lamar Alliance background investment banking specifically has to do with infrastructure financing and also environmental oversight.
Adrian, I'm in college, major is political science and my background is youth engagement.
I'm Brooke Smith. I'm a aeronautical engineer doing research on airplanes.
Linda Alexander, my favorite of all my careers, have been the director of flight attendant airline. That was like fun.
There you go.
I got a construction management degree, and I've applied that to the existing building industry where I help them decarbonize and conserve energy water costs in their existing operations of light industrial facilities, specifically with refrigeration. That's specialty.
I'm the architect.
Lori Feldman. My career was in advanced practice nursing, specifically as a nurse practitioner practicing psychiatry. And I worked for the Department of Mental Health of County of Los Angeles as well as for the residents of the county. So my interest is public health, basically.
Adele Healy, a lifetime ago, I was for a long time a probation officer. Then I went into real estate and then into investment in real estate and just general investor. Very concerned about the thoughtful growth of San Pedro, especially downtown, and some of the new building codes and laws that are coming to our attention do have me a little concerned.
Elise Swanson, I run the San Pedro Chamber of Commerce, background in government and sociology and urban studies.
We have two committee members, three committee members up there, Robin, Thomas, and Jason.
What's the exact question? Just what was our profession?
Yes. Background, area of interest.
Okay, well, I'm retired from Bank of America, where I was an executive vice president and director of finance for the Global Corporate and Investment Bank, and I guess you could say I'm a professional volunteer now and coastal advocate.
Yeah. Jason?
Hi, I'm Jason Herring. I'm a former aerospace engineer, current data science software consultant, and general sustainability environmentalist, renewable energy advocate, and transit advocate as well.
Thomas, we can kind of tell what Thomas says.
Tom, I'm a professor of management at Cal State Dominguez Hills. I've been a banker for Wells Fargo, US Bank. I've worked in tech during the dot-com boom. I've worked in consumer products for Procter & Gamble. So I'm excited to be part of this group.
And when are you coming back?
December 15th.
Okay.
For how long?
Okay, all right. Thank you so much. I mean, again, we're here for the future of San Pedro. And it's always awesome to see future of San Pedro grow. That being said, we can go on to the next item, which is our.
So sorry, one more comment.
On.
I'm really looking forward to a discussion or
Public comment comes at the end.
No, actually, this is relating to Phillips 66. What type of I don't know if we have any more time on it, but I'm really interested in hearing what type of people should be on this working committee, if there's any ideas there that anybody has.
I think the idea was to have one or two people from each of the three neighborhood council, of the five neighborhood councils.
Yes.
Get together. So we kind of got some of them.
Yeah.
Scoped out already.
Yeah, I just heard that we might wanna, I thought I heard outreach to other professionals or individuals that.
Beyond the, yeah, but not yet.
Yeah, okay, gotcha.
Yeah. There's gotta be a small group that kind of gets together first, puts their heads together and figures out how to see.
Could I ask a question on this?
Yes, sir.
So we all submitted comments to NOP. Do you know what the next milestone date would be for the process?
The next technical one is to actually let the NOP close on December 12th. And then I believe that is where the EIR process.
The draft, the real next milestone date would be the draft EIR, which is probably a good year away. I mean, there's not a, and then there's the draft, and then we comment on the draft EIR, and then it's a final EIR. But at the same time, the specific plan does move along, so we kind of need to figure out. We frequently approve them at the same time.
And ultimately, we're gonna be dumped with a 700-page EIR to have 30 to 90 days to reply to. So are we gonna be working?
And that's what
from here till then?
Yeah,
that's what these conversations are about. So again,
they've got two processes. One is the EIR and the other one is the actual specific plan. Absolutely.
So, they have people that get paid to do this. And so what we're looking to do is gather our subject matter experts and community members who are getting really engaged in this and, essentially ensuring that our voice is heard. you know, at the end of the day. And so, so thank everybody for being here in your time, because this is a labor of love. So, and moving on, after 7:33, I'm going to be mindful of the time. Moving on to item number 7. And any updates on items that are interested in committee?
Five, several.
Several, how many?
Laura and I have a question about whether you're supposed to give, how many?
Is anybody else?
I have one.
Okay, anybody else?
I have a question for Diana.
Okay, or, yeah, I just want to get the.
Assuming that I didn't.
I just want. Okay, Diane, yes, Diane.
Okay. The first thing is, I know that you've probably all seen the stories of the Green Onion closing.
Yes.
And the reason the Green Onion is closing is they're getting ready to do construction. So the project that we saw probably 6 months, 9 months ago, just across the street from City Hall, that project, which is 281 units. They're anticipating to actually start construction in January. That's an 8-story mixed-use building. Denise and I heard a presentation on a project at 737 North Grand, which is from, Dell was there too, where the Calvary Chapel is now. This would be a mixed-use project, 125 units with 14 very low income and 4 moderate income units. It was just an administrative approval. They've already got it entitled. We're asking them to come and give a presentation to the committee, but I thought you ought to know about it. Looks like they'll probably get it, finish doing some work on it and then sell it.
You definitely.
We don't know.
Try to sell it,
Right.
they're not gonna be lined up.
So we don't know what will really happen.
But Daniel said he is more than willing to come and present the project.
So we're asking, possibly as early as December, maybe probably December or January.
Maybe December.
To come up and give a presentation so you all can.
How long is construction?
Well, the construction, first of all, you've got to have an owner that wants to build.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what happens in these projects, and we actually had to learn this.
Yes.
People they come in, they present to us, and we give our comments, and we maybe make some changes, and we get to know these people. Well, then they get all the approvals.
But it was the tram
Hold
one?
on.
Okay.
They get all these approvals, and then they go out and sell the property.
Yeah.
Entitled. And so then you have to deal with the new people who've already got it entitled, who oftentimes come in and want to make a few tweaks in it. So sometimes they'll come back, so making some changes.
And that's what happened with Trammell Pro.
That's what happened with Trammell Pro.
It's happening almost every day.
Because I remember Trammell Crow being here, so I don't know. Is it still Trammell Crow that's moving?
Trammell Pro is the one doing the reunion.
Yeah.
Okay, that's all I wanted.
Yes.
But this one on Grand is somebody else.
Oh, okay, sorry, I was getting it. Yeah.
Timeline on the Trammell Pro project is will start in January.
Okay, that's all I needed. Thank you.
Is there any mention of a discussion of financing?
On which one?
On the grant?
No,
There was no conversation.
No.
because they're entitling it to sell it. So-
Well, he danced around
Well,
that.
because he doesn't want, I don't think he wanted to speak, the owner was not in the room, that was his entitlement consultant doing the presentation, so he didn't want to speak for the owner. But that's what it appears.
It's been on the market in the past, it's been in escrow.
But that was for the property.
It's just
Not
Drummond.
it.
No.
So
Also,
separate.
so there's confusion in the room. The Grand Avenue project is being entitled by Knowlton Communities out of Orange County. They're using an entitlement consultant, Nerve Development. Daniel did the presentation on behalf of the owner of the property on Grand Avenue. It's a beautiful site. It's a block. The project's gonna be a block. It's retail, 156 parking spaces. And it's, I forget how many apartments, but
125.
So, and 3 levels of parking. So they came in, presented the project to the chamber. And they are being very careful about whether or not they're going to build it or list it for sale.
Yeah.
It was for sale like 4 months ago.
But it was But that was the land.
The land, yeah.
It's a difference between buying a project that's entitled and buying a project.
It was advertised 2 months till shovel ready.
So
In
that's,
January, it will be shovel ready. That was the opening statement.
well, that's what they're proposing, yes, and that's,
now.
yes, that would be now.
But they didn't get the entitlement.
They,
so
he,
it's-
yes, he just got his letter of it.
When was it, when was this put in motion?
What?
The Grand Avenue project, it went through an administrative process. I'll send you the letter of approval.
There
They're
was no
clearing
zoning
conditions.
hearing. There was no
Yeah.
hearing.
There was no, they were not required to do a hearing. This is this fast track process to get housing built in the city of LA.
Let's get to the mayor's office.
So it was out of courtesy, we asked him to come and present the project
This project with the mayor's office.
on Grand Avenue. I will look at exactly what, I'm gonna send you all the letter of approval and you can all look at it.
But yeah, this is a different process.
Yep.
Until they didn't come to us and it moved like that.
Very fast.
We first saw it posted, it went in October and they've already got their approval.
And the same thing on Nelson Street, same situation.
Will they come? Have you asked them to come?
Which,
On Nelson Street.
They're non-responsive right now. Yeah.
so the next item was that the port. Some of you may remember when the port came to us for a letter of support when they were applying to EPA for a large grant. They received that grant. The grant that they received is $411 million. And they had to commit an additional $233 million in match. So the total project is $644 million. Most of the funds go directly to the port for equipment upgrades at the terminals. But there was $50 million. This was part of the proposal, and I noted at the time, that was set aside to go to the Harbor Community Benefits Foundation for community projects. And at the time we were asking about it, we didn't quite understand. And it's still not real clear, but it's clearer now because I had a meeting Monday night. Will and I were both there. Of this 50 million, approximately 20 million is for zero emissions projects. That are outside of, yeah,
Okay.
I'm not quite sure what that all means. And then there's 26 million that is for workforce development with the idea that they would train workers to maintain the zero emissions. And they want to do extensive, they have money for public outreach, they're planning to do extensive public outreach. And they also are going to have a youth advisory board. And youth that get selected for the board get paid $75 for every meeting they go to.
Nice.
More than they were canceling.
They will have a community advisory board also gets paid $75 a meeting for work. Is a lot more often. Their original launch of their community process will be in January. So you just want, if you're interested, you might want to keep yours open. The one more thing I had was, some of you may remember when the redevelopers of the Harbor View House gave their presentation to us. That was probably 3 or 4 years ago now. And, they finally completed the rehab and people have been moving in. Well, one of the things in that plan was a ground floor restaurant. That ground floor restaurant is being called the Majestic Cafe, and it's supposed to have its grand opening first Thursday.
Yes, we are doing the ribbon cutting first Thursday in December at 5:30. The public is invited, and the Trainee family will be running the rest.
Yeah.
Harvard, Robin, do you recognize?
Post office.
I didn't really hear you, but I do have an update to Sheriff on this 79 if you like.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, please.
As you know, the governor signed the Senate Bill 79 in October, and this is the one that allows more multifamily housing development near qualifying transit stops, which are rail stations and rapid bus lines. The law becomes operative on July 1st, 2026. as it is, unless local jurisdictions adopt a compliant ordinance or alternative transit-oriented development plan earlier than that, which I know our city is considering. And the exclusion areas are certain fire, seismic, and sea level rise zones. And the latest is there was a plum hearing, a city council plum hearing on Monday, just a couple days ago. And a lot of us were trying to hear it online, and the audio was horrible. We're trying to get a clarification from the chair's office on, what really happened. But it seemed like they simply got approval to get a budget allocation for the city planning to do the studies necessary to figure out how to implement it in Los Angeles. So that's basically where we are right now. And then they'll get into that study and we'll know more after that, probably in January.
Thank you.
And then I wanted to ask Elise, yes, is there anything you want to say about the courthouse property?
So, Bill Cochran, the developer of the courthouse, has made several presentations. He is asking the county for an extension of time to complete the financing on the project. He's in discussion with several national builders to be co-developers. And so they can attract investment in the project. So we'll know more about that in the future.
All right, thank you.
Did you get your question answered?
Yes, thank you.
Is that the 4 items?
Well, they're basically, they don't have to do anything.
I know, but it's as community goodwill.
Well, we're trying, and the council office is trying.
And they know we're gonna beat them up for no
That's
profit.
correct.
And 85 units, not one per.
It's all.
It's very low income.
That's why they don't have.
It's under executive directive 1.
Okay, an item that came up from another stakeholder at, Northwest of the Cabrillo Beach Youth Center. Anybody can talk about that?
I suggest that we have the gal that's working down there.
Well, it's in transition.
Amanda.
So I would ask the port to come and do a presentation on it. They have issued the Boy Scouts of Greater Los Angeles a notice to vacate the property.
Whoa.
So because the port will be taking management of the property, a new nonprofit's being formed. They're gonna upgrade the property for the Olympics and Olympic sailing and a youth sailing program. And so there's a lot of changes. So I actually would ask Mike Galpin to present on it.
Thank you.
Interesting.
Good.
Well, the Boy Scouts own all buildings. It's gonna be really interesting to see how they separate all that out.
No news on the Clearwater Tunnel opening. And the Los Angeles Charter Reform.
The what?
Los Angeles Charter Reform.
Charter.
Charter. It's still ongoing.
Doug Epperhart is our expert.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah, so I just wanted to raise those things, lots of big things, but if there is not any other interest of the committees that are on the agenda, we can look to adjourn at.
Okay, I thought it was actually public comment very quickly on the non-agenda items.
I'll have
Go ahead, Al.
Invited for transitional to public comment. For a land use committee, one land use is open space. I know we have people like England volunteers to feed and be fed. Diana and I have a project which will have a volunteer day December 6th at Park at the Alderaan Walker intersection. And I missed Lamar's meeting last night because I was at another meeting where I learned that the city of Los Angeles, which owns White Point Park, acres down there, which is used in a variety of school programs and for research by Cal State Long Beach and other schools, and has quite a bit of community investment in it. But it is currently managed in an agreement between the city, which owns it, and it provides certain basic services, trash pickup and minimal security. utilities. And the Palos Verdes Peninsula Land Conservancy provides programming, did the habitat restoration, retrofitted the Nature Education Center, and has spent several $1 million on the property and spend between $200,000 and $300,000 a year managing and maintaining programs. But the city wants to withdraw the services that it provides.
Oh.
And
Cost recovery? I mean, is it related to the fiscal crisis?
I would assume it's related to the city's budget crisis. But I don't think the Conservancy can assume the costs that the city is proposing to
Wow.
give up. So if any of you have any contacts that you can get with Rec Parks or other city agencies, put in a good word for maintaining existing services.
That sounds like I'm a Costco.
Well, I have
That sounds like.
exchanged emails with Drew, and we'll see where that goes. But again, the more voices, the better.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
a lot of people use that parcel. It's got a beautiful view, and again, we have several thousand children a year go through there in a curricular program tied to elementary schools, and have Eagle Scout and Cold War projects there, and college and university research, all sorts of good stuff.
So they've given you a price tag?
And thousands of hours of volunteer work
And
every
it's
year.
They
have not.
Oh, they haven't given you a price tag.
They are simply, we have a management contract. And in their proposed management agreement, they would end those services that they provide. That would conceivably mean just closing down the park. Some of you may remember from the mid-70s until about 2000 it was closed. Rusty chain link fence with barbed wire surrounding it, and it do the community any good.
So I'm gonna take it to the Chamber's Quality of Life Committee. We'll agendize it for action, and see what we can do. It's an incredible community resource. It's my first project when I worked for them. Newly elected councilwoman Janice Sullivan was working on that MOU with the Land Conservancy. And so, I think that, yeah, well, let's talk and, yeah, we need to rally the troops.
Thank you.
I will do that. Okay. All right.
Lisa.
Oh, I just have a public comment. I'm very excited. Tomorrow at Metro, I'm speaking in support of Supervisor Han's water taxi program for the Olympics. This is incredible. There were a lot of speakers in support at the last meeting, but it is a water taxi for the Olympics that would run in between San Pedro and Long Beach, and transport, visitors between the two communities, because we both have pieces of Olympic sailing, but also it's a pilot to see if we can do something year round to have transport, especially with the bridge closures Axel mentioned, between the two communities. And Dan Solis, Harbor Breeze Cruises, said he's ready to roll out the taxi program as soon as he has the critical mass of riders. And then the interesting thing about Metro is they're looking at, you can use your Metro tap card on the water taxi. So that'll be super cool. Visitors can buy the tap card and use it around LA for bus and water taxi.
Are they looking for more speakers?
Yes, I'll send you all the information. It's 1 o'clock tomorrow. It's Metro's, it's one of their many committees. And anyway, I'll send you, you can call in. I'm not going downtown. It's the Metro.
Jason will probably want.
Okay, I can send it out to everybody. Jason, it's the Metro Operations Safety and Customer Experience Team tomorrow at 1 o'clock.
Thomas will probably follow in.
Okay, I'll send it out. Yes.
Sorry. Yeah. Sorry. Yeah. Central's Arts Committee has been very active, but I wonder if your committees are. But I think everybody in the community would be interested in hearing about this documentary called Out of Plain Sight. outofplainsight.org. It talks about the dumping off of our coast between here and Catalina. 250,000 barrels of DDT sludge, waste, and poison.
But they found that what's in the barrels, this is DDT.
Maybe other stuff too. It's a bunch of other
Listen to
stuff.
the documentary, they don't think that's what's in it. The DDT was just dumped.
Ooh, well,
Yeah,
there's
it's
some
what-
barrels of
it's
very bad
really-
stuff.
It's really. It's that documentary.
So that's what I want to do now. So, it's actually showing every night since Tuesday this week through the 25th. It's unfortunately an hour away in North Hollywood. But if you go to inplainsight.org, you can see the trailer and follow but the cool thing is the director's there, they're all gonna be doing Q&A after this thing. So wanted to let you know all about that. You can easily buy tickets on plenty of open seats, so invite your family, friends, or neighbors. And hopefully, if there's a way for us to get this to show in our community.
It did.
Or if it can come back and keep showing
At
at the film festival, right? Yeah, but if we could get it in the theaters or something. Be great.
Very interesting.
Did you watch it? Did you see it? Yeah.
Was there? You didn't make it?
Linda?
Oh, Elise, I wanted to know what Dan Phillips, is he using his normal boats? I mean, regular?
He's using local boats, but he has new boats being delivered. On his early 2026, that there'll be a huge press conference. Fuel efficient.
Because yeah.
So
I was thinking that wouldn't particularly good for a ferry.
So, more to follow on that with the new boats. I don't know all the details, but the port's gonna have a huge event around that.
Great.
Very exciting.
7:55.
Not a minute too soon.
Yes, 7 AM.
Look to adjourn the meeting, all those in favor?
Aye.
Hi.
You don't have to vote. Adjournment? Someone will get there.